Okay, good morning, guys. Let me just check sound. Sound good? All good. Let me know if you can hear me clear, and we'll get up and racing. Excuse me. Okay. All right, let's just get going. Welcome to the Morning Playbook. What's the date today? It's the 17th of July. So this morning, I'm just going to chat about a few different things. Take a bit of a different tack. So what I'll do is obviously go through the indices we've got on watch for the intraday trading, and then I'm going to go through. Obviously, we know most of you know if you're looking at the markets what the market's done, but we'll just quickly go through a few key things, and I'm just going to take a look at show you some. Well, haven't got some marked up some trades, but I'll explain through some trades that I did short on the Hang Seng yesterday. Now, it's good and bad. So it made a bit of a mess of a couple of shorts, which is a bit of a shame because it was on the right side and it really started to power low. It's just that choppiness of the market at the moment got me caught off guard a bit. So I made some gains, which could have been a lot more. So I'll show you through those in just a moment. So to start with, we've got the SPY. We've got the SPY 200. This is the breakdown for today. So we're just looking at this level at 60.07 and 59.82. So it looks like this is, it's built a little bit of a base, big power down yesterday. I don't know where the market closed. It was yesterday afternoon. It was closed somewhere around here. So it sold off yesterday. I mean, I don't find a very strong setup there. You probably have to go down to your 1 minute charts, which is quite fast to see an entry short there. I think I actually took a long off here and it didn't quite work out. I mean, got break even. It just reversed on me too quick. So I wasn't happy to take that. And then it powered through and we found this sort of action powering down. I didn't expect this kind of a sell-off yesterday. So I'd be interested to see if we can break high today and we get a bit of bargain hunting on the open. We could push up through 60,007, sorry, 6,007, and test up to 60.28, which is that breakdown level. We can probably extend it out. It's through there. Otherwise, it'd be interesting to see if we can retest it and then start to fail off 60.07. It could open up a move down, especially if we get through 59.82 to attack 59.57, and potentially if that opens up, we could be looking down to, that's just the extension from that high to low. You take that from high to low, and we could be a decent sell-off today. Again, we'll just wait and see what happens there. We've got the Hang Seng setting up. So these are the half an hour levels, the key levels from overnight. 25.163 and then 25.072, and you're going to make another level on a 30-minute chart down to 24.980. Now on the 30-minute, it looks like it's potentially going to do something like that and roll over again. We'll see what happens on the open, but yeah, you got to see if it can chop around here and it holds below that. Even if it flushes out that level at 25.163 and then starts to hold below again, coming to that 11.15 open, and then if we start attacking this zone 25.072, like we did this support through here, we start flushing out and bouncing and they can't protect it, then if the sellers start to overwhelm the buyers, we expect a bit of a breakdown again. All right, so down through, these support zones, down through here, and then potentially it opens up a big move down to 24.835 again, which, well, in essence, it's not really that big of a move. 25.17, so it's only a couple of 100 points, which the Hang Seng can do in a heartbeat. So we'll keep an eye on that one. If it doesn't, I mean, if we sort of flush out on the open, we start to hold, there could be a bit of a squeeze back up. I mean, there's been a couple of good down days on the Hang Seng, but there's enough. I think they've got a few troubles over there. I was reading somewhere about the bank runs have started. Now, if that's the case, they're taking money out of the banks and in equity market and things like that. So I think it's coming under pressure. But we'll see what plays out there. We've got the Wall Street Dow. I don't expect 26,770. I mean, longer term, this is what I'm looking at, that sort of flaggy thing there, you like to call it, through the lows and the highs. It's contracting in either way, but it's sort of edging lower, contracting in. That could open up a bigger move up. But if it doesn't get underway soon, I wouldn't expect that to happen today, 26,770. I expect that level to hold. So if it can sort of flush it out and start to find weakness again, we could get a selling opportunity back down to 26,670 and potentially below. Now, if it just opens up and crashes down, we'll have to wait and see. But that's the action. I mean, if it starts to belt up and through, then look for a retest. I mean, it's got to break out of this contraction. I mean, it can come up here, a few points higher and then start to fail again. It's not a hard and fast zone. It's retested. It's tested there once, twice, three times, a third, fourth time. It could easily break through off of this higher low in here. Could push up and through, but they could fail quite quickly. Like I said, I don't expect that to get a run on up to 26,880 before the open, before European Open at least. So that's it. Let's just quickly go over. I'll go over the trades in a second. So I'm just going to go over the key markets. This is we'll start with the dollar. The currencies were a chop fest last night. You can see that's powered down. We got this press up, slam back down into sort of that support, failed at a higher level, and we pop back up again. So it's rolling a bit at the moment. But this sort of flush, you can see if you go and look at the Aussie, the pound, and the yen, all choppy. The yen probably less choppy. The yen played out quite nicely. Just did. I mean, honestly, it was looking like an entry long on the yen, which we'll look at in a sec, but it just didn't play out like expected. So that was choppy, bit of choppy action there. It's whether it can hold. You want to see it hold a key high low to see if it can tack back up to 96.67. But again, a lot of things are just interrelated to the share market at the moment. Especially FX markets, the dollar, they're all correlated to exactly what's happening in the share market. Share market fortunes up and down like a yo-yo. You're getting these currencies moving up and down like a yo-yo. Look at the Aussie. Aussie, a bit more direction in that. It came down off this level, but it was held in there. It was moving down, I think, prior to the US session. So it was under pressure through Asian session. Asian markets, the Hang Seng was down, the Dow futures were down, our market was down. So the Aussie was copying a bit of pressure. So that's about 830. So that was the sell-off there. Bounced on that US dollar drop and then sold straight down again. So finished on its lows. The pound, I've got the euro. Euro's gone. Don't know where that went. All right, that's great. So the euro was choppy. Oh, don't worry about that. Euro was choppy also. I've lost my euro pair there. For some reason, it just decides to disappear. All right. So the pound, you can see swings and roundabouts as well. But it's been pressured. You get these lower highs come into play. It's just that you've got this high low too. So it's a bit of, it's a wide sort of contracting range at the moment on the pound. Now, if we hold this lower high, I would like to see it hold at this MA, and then find some pressure, and then we can break out down through those lows and see if we can get a bit of a run onto the downside. But that, again, it's purely related to the US dollar. That's it for those. We'll look at I want to show you crude oil, which backed off back into that 40 zone. You can see it's pushed up, tried to get a bit of a run on, and then contracted back into that zone. It's up a bit at the moment, but it depends. I mean, if share markets don't get a wriggle on up to the upside, then and they start to waver, I mean, there's enough reasons. We've got COVID-19 expanding in the US, further lockdowns. It's just that permanent backstop of Fed reserves, which are helping to support the markets. Now, the US is, if they go back into lockdown, expect that unemployment rate to pick up and the pressure you would expect to pressure markets. But again, it's that offset if they'll come out and start talking about, okay, we're going to support the market. We're looking at another stimulus program. Just the talk of it could keep the markets buoyed. But either way, that's it's just struggling above and below that 40, above because of the fundamental problems they've got, and below because of stimulus. It's holding because of stimulus. So that's crude. Copper is working out the plan. There we go. Copper, you can see that edging lower, playing out nicely. It's retracted, so that's your second move. So we were talking about this sort of push up and then grind lower for lower highs. It's played out. It hasn't got right down to this level, but it just bounced a bit higher off that support. Now it's whether we can hold, we hold below this high. It's retest and start to grind back off. You can see that grinding off. Now, if that starts to fail quite hard, I expect to move down to here at 28245. But if not, the more grindy action you get off here, it's leading me to believe we're going to spike back up again. And that would play into that two moves. So the two bigger moves you can see is one up, two down. Okay, and that generally you're looking for the two moves. So if we hold a higher low in here above this level, above this zone in here, I've got lines everywhere. I have to clean that up later. Higher low in here somewhere, then expect it to push up back to the highs. Right, so that's what I want to go over there. Let's look at what I was talking about, the Hang Seng yesterday. So longer term, this is a 30-minute level. Okay, that's what I was looking at on the open. I think we sent it out in the morning alert that we send out about the intraday levels that I'm looking at. So that was on the Hang Seng, looking for another breakdown. That level, if it goes through there, then expect a bit of selling pressure. You can see when it opened up, it was chopping around. Now, the trade, so 11:15. I think I did take a long. I think I took a long in here, and then it faded. And I think I was looking for that break higher. I was just looking for a squeeze higher after this. I think this level started to hold. I was looking for a bit of a spike high. Took a long, got very tight stop. You don't want to leave stops too loose on the Hang Seng because they'll turn around and nab you and then bang straight back up. So I was happy to take a small gain there, and I think I got chipped out again as we started to pop back up. I thought I'd go long again, looking for a break back up to these highs. Just a bigger squeeze. I wanted to see a retest to 25,640. Okay, then it didn't play out. Got stopped out of that. So then basically sat and waited, because once you start to hold this inside level, you know that selling pressure is starting to step in. We should have broke up through there. We should have got, after this move off, if it was bullish, it's the bullish sentiment for a bigger squeeze higher, really to clean out some of these sellers before potentially a move down. We should have seen that happen there. All right, so you've got to be wary of, if you don't, what's happening. All right, and we started to see, obviously, the market's chopping around, found some sellers in here, pressed down to the lows, into that 30-minute support zone, rejected it. So that rejection could still lead to some buying pressure pumping the market up, but it didn't. The sellers stepped back in at around 25. Now, what have we got? 590 thereabouts. Okay, so that's important to note. Once the sellers were stepping in there, then we got a break through that support. You can see on this red 5-minute candle there. All right, so from there, it's all about the shorts, because you're looking for a bigger squeeze lower. You're looking for that continuation, that chop around there, that continuation on the 30-minute chart. We've got the pullback on the 30-minute chart, and you're looking for continuation down. All right, so that's the premise for the trade. Basically, I'm looking for the zones off the 5, and the entries just to refine the entries off the 1-minute chart, just to see a little bit extra weakness come in. Now, that was the entry zone there. You can see off the 1. We got that push down, pop up, which was this big red candle in the 5, and then failure again. And once you start getting rejection, you got rejection there, and then rejection, thump down into the lows, powered down into lows. Now, they can power down into lows and then turn around and squeeze everyone back out. But the fact that we got another rejection candle on the 1-minute chart was really something to take note of. So as it started to come down, jump in short, you're refining by doing, waiting to see this rejection, you know that the sellers are in control. Sellers are in control then, and it's just a matter of getting in short, having your stop loss in place, and then managing your risk as you go. So what I should be doing, what I really want to do, and I'm working on, is following this 5-minute down, because if I'm right and I get that expansion lower, I want to take advantage of it. But instead, for whatever reason, I was getting chopped around in this one. So my focus fell away from the 1-minute chart and was watching this, not watching the 5-minute like I should be doing. So that's the premise, because I know that we got the break there, we got the selling pressure coming in there. It's repeating what it did the day before, okay? And you're looking for the selling pressure to really go down to the next level, which was down around 25,307, 302, and the entry was somewhere just below. I think it was below. It was just below 24. It was around 24. So it was just on this candle, this one red candle here. Took the entry short. I think it was right on 24 or 2402, 25,402. Sorry. And then you had a move potentially down to 100-point move on the cards, which actually did play out. So it was this chop that got me here. Kept chopping around, and I think it was just a mental game of going, oh, look, I'm up 50 or 70, 50, 60 points at the time. I'll tighten up my stop, because if this bounces, we've got a bit of a flush and we're going to bounce up again for whatever reason. But it didn't play out that way, so I did end up getting stopped out of that. But what I should have been doing was following on the 5-minute. So that's your entry in there. Now it was at 1207. Was it on the candle at 1207? So I'm looking for 1205. So this candle here, entry is above. Sorry, your stop above. Well, stop was a bit tighter than that. And as the next candle played out, you got that expansion low. This candle, you can drop your stop. So that's what I'm aiming to do, is drop my stop. And then coming into a level, if you've got enough on there, is just to take some off the table. So it's a matter of taking 10 off the table and let the other 10 ride. Okay, so that was that's the aim. And then you could have seen by just by doing that, taking some off down here, you're booking a healthy gain on the first half, and then seeing what happens on the second half. And eventually you got this chopping here, this chopping around here, which probably would have flushed me out of the final amount. Okay, so in essence, a trade of around 50 points, I think it was 50 or 60 points, could have been 150, or netting over 100 all up. So you can see by just the mismanagement and the chop in the market at the moment, you've got to be careful. You've got to stick with your plan and stick with the theory of, going from the offer to bid zones. And really, the theory was that you would break down here, we start taking out a few offer bid zones, and it's going to just get some more selling pressure piling into the market. All right, and that's in essence what did happen. It did play out that way, but it was just struggled to take advantage of it, to be honest. So I just thought I'd show you that, show you, yeah, not only the wins, but the pain of the trading sometimes too. I mean, getting the direction and the premise right is half of it, and managing is the other half. Managing correctly is the other half to really, and it's not just the gain; it's trying to maximize the gain. So when you're right, you want to make sure that you're right, a lot, if that makes sense. Taking those bigger chunks rather than just nibbling, because if you get 50-50 right, wrong, your statistics are showing, then you don't want to be one for one each time, because you're going nowhere and you're eating away with commissions. So what you're trying to do is, anytime you get it right and your premise is right, is to really make that trade pay. And so that the aim of that was to see if we can drive it down in support, take some off, and then drive it down lower. And for whatever reason, just had that stop a touch too close. I think I got stopped out by about 5 points, and then watch it go down. I think there was actually a short, another entry there, short, and it got stopped at I think at plus 15, and I just couldn't take advantage of it. So yeah, there you go. Hope you enjoyed that. Now, if any questions, feel free to send us an email to support@tradesetup.com.au, and then check out our website, www.tradesetup.com.au. I keep saying the support line. And yeah, leave us a like on the video if you enjoyed what you see. Like I said, any questions, just email it off to us. And by the way, I think I've got to check on the uploads. So anyone that might have missed the start, when they want to go and see it, I think it's a day late for whatever reason, but I'll check it today to see if the uploads into YouTube, into our channel, are coming out straight away. I thought they were within the 5, 10, 15 minutes for the live streams, but yesterday it didn't upload for a while. I didn't see it for late afternoon. So I'm just going to check on that. Anyone that knows if that's the case, if that happens all the time, just let me know. Otherwise, I'll follow it up for you. All right, guys, enjoy your day, and we'll speak to you again soon.